Today we're going to be going over Wookworm, and we're going to be going over strawberries. So yeah, Aaron Kojian it says craving strawberries. Well, I'm going to teach you how I made it. And also, I'm going to go ahead and say this. So I'm showing y'all my workflow. I'm showing y'all my thought process, right? I'm not doing this for y'all to take what I have and copy it and do it yourself. I'm doing this so you can take what I'm doing and implement it into your music and your style, okay? How you can implement it to work for you. You know, I've had people straight up, we're about to go over Wookworm. I've had someone straight up copy Wookworm and almost release it. Here's the thing, you can do that, you can copy people, but people are going to realize it and they're going to call you out. I realized this because somebody had a lot of people tagged me in this one post and was like, yo, this guy ripped your sound off, and he did. So take what I taught you and use it to implement into your songs, your style, your sound, all right? I'm giving you the knowledge, all right, to make your own gold, all right? My gold's safe, dude. You come fucking for my gold, dude, you gonna catch a dick to the throat, all right? So, cool. And like I said, y'all, I have this screen to my left. I have the chat up here. If y'all have any questions, want me to go over something, want me to read, go over anything, or just any questions, I'm fucking reading it every couple minutes. So we're not doing any type of Q&A at the end. You know, we're just going to do it as we go on. So any questions you have, I'm going to answer them right here on the spot. A couple ground rules before we get started, dude. All right. If you have alcohol, now's the time to drink it. If you have drugs, now is the time to take it. If you have condoms, throw them bitches in the trash, dude, because I'm not teaching no fucking cowards, y'all. Let's get started, okay? So, let's hope this is coming through, okay? Let me check my OBS and see. It says it's coming through. I might just turn it up a tad bit. Y'all let me know if that Ableton audio is coming through, okay? Let me just listen real quick. Cool? It is cool. Cool, so listen, I'm going to be real with y'all. This project file is going to piss y'all off. It's so simple, okay? Because this song, I wrote it like 2 years ago, and I opened the project file for the first time in 2 years, 2 days ago, to get it ready for this class, and it pissed me off, okay? It pissed me off how simple the formatting is, like the layout, the damn arrangement, okay? But here's the thing, man. Simple is good. Simple is good, y'all. I'm gonna just go ahead and say that. Both songs we're gonna go over today, the synths, the main mid bass drops, in mid bass is in the drops. I'm only using one or two synths and then like manipulating them to do more. I want to tell y'all a little philosophy that I teach my students real quick, all right? Because y'all are technically my students at this point, all right? I want y'all to think of a song as a presentation, okay? As a group presentation, a couple people presenting, or a conversation itself, okay? I don't know if y'all took public speaking in school. I went to school in Jackson, Mississippi, and they made us take public speaking. But one of the things you do in a presentation is you say, hey, today we're going to be talking about this, that, and that. And it gets people an idea of what you're going to be talking about for the day. And so I try to take that with my songs, all right? We give you an idea of what the song's going to be about right from the beginning. Today I'm going to be teaching you about this, that, and that. And then as the song goes on, I'm teaching you about it, right? And think of like the basses in the drops as a conversation, right? You know, I like to only have 2, maybe 3 different main basses in my drops because I like to think of it as a conversation, dude. I'd rather talk to 1 or 2 really interesting people than 10 little fucking kids just blurting out bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Not saying anything important, anything of value, or anything that I'm going to give a fuck about, you know what I'm saying? And the way you make this one person interesting, you take this one synth, this one bass, okay? And you can make this one bass do all these different things. And that's what I've done in all these songs I'm going to show, well, 2 songs I'm showing you tonight. So I took like a patch, and I made this one patch do a bunch of different things. So imagine that being one person who's very knowledgeable. All right, he's got a good idea of what he's talking about. Okay? Instead of just some fucking little kid fucking asking you to quit banging his mom so loudly so he can go to bed. It's like, no, dude, I'm trying to fuck, dude. So let's just get into it. So that idea of a presentation, giving people an idea of what you're going to talk about, I did that right in the beginning with Wookworm. This song started with literally just this piano, dude. This is literally 4 notes. I just had my keyboard in front of me, played something really catchy that I thought was good stuff. Good analology. Analogy. Analogy. And dude, have y'all noticed analogy is analology? That's hilarious. I think this is literally 4 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is literally just 4 fucking notes. 1, 2, 3. All right, 5. Okay, I gotta learn how to count. That's it. I just played it on the keyboard, thought it was cool, and I took that. Well, honestly, let's just play the fucking song. I know y'all have heard this song before, but if you haven't heard this, dude, you probably have a life. I was gonna say get a life. You probably have a life. You probably do better things than listen to meditation. All those cool little noises go over all of it. That little bam, 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 bam. Well, that is the E chord, the arpeggio. It's the Wookworm. Ja.
Okay.
Cool wobbles. I'm sure how to do that tonight. That's the only thing I'm doing. Lube up. Effects in this song are very important. They really drive it. It's the Wookworm. Those little lasers, all it is a sample. We'll go over it all. I'm gonna draw to IDFC itself. See, there's only like 4. There's not that much going on at the same time. Okay, cool. All right, I'm sure y'all have heard the whole song. I won't play the whole thing. All right, because we don't have time for that, dude. No time for foolishness. So let's just dive into this track, okay? Dive into what's going. I'm blacked out, and it's your fault, dude. Don't blame me for your fucking freshman ass, dude. Let's see. I got the boss man, Mr. Alex DeFry. 3 dB more. All right, he's saying my audio is too loud to coming through my computer. So we'll try that. Let's see if that's good. Hopefully it will be. So like I said, the song started out, and I have the chat over here. If y'all have any questions, we'll get there. How did you make the wind sounds after the main synth? I don't know what you mean by that, but we can figure that out as we go. All right, so there's like this really cool. You'll hear like the glitchiness thing happen, and then it sounds like it's breaking down. All it is this little distortion, little thing going on. But there's this fucking plugin that I found on the internet, y'all. Y'all ever fucked with the internet? And there's this plugin called Tantra. All right, I'm sure majority. I'm gonna say there's probably only one person here who's probably heard of it. I'm gonna go ahead and say that nobody I've talked to has ever heard of this plugin. But it's got like these crazy fucking presets for effects, and it really just makes my fucking like you can. hear what it does to the sound. I'm going to just solo the main. Actually, I'll do it over here on the piano. So you can hear it kind of. Oh, fuck. Oop. Watch it once it turns on. I'll just have the automation of it coming on. That's it. And you'll hear it breaking down. That's it. It's and you know, without it, it doesn't do that cool like that tape stop effect. You know what I'm saying? Basic stuff. All right. So let's go to like this little pre-build. There's just kind of like a verse section right here. I've got like this little pluck thing going on. I thought I had the patch for it, but I didn't. But I'm pretty positive all this is a fucking E chord. Just gonna record an E chord. Oops. Let's see. Just a little E chord. Oh. And just I'm pretty sure all this. Oops. Pretty sure all this was just an E chord. And I did it. It was a serum patch for sure. Like it was one that I made though. Serum. All it is an arpeggiator on this bitch. I probably had an envelope too, like a second envelope on the cutoff filter, just kind of plucking it. But then they were gliding into each other a little bit. So let's just see if we can get it even remotely close. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I just think this is what I did just by listening to it. That's exactly what I did. You know, it doesn't sound exactly the same, but that's exactly what I did. So all this is right here is just literally an E chord. It doesn't move. It doesn't change chords. All it is an E chord, arpeggiator. There's a fucking glide going on, and that's it, right? And it sounds. I think I got like that idea from listening to like a Marshmello track. He does a lot of those like super pretty bendy, glidey type plucks that sound really cool, but like they're not like in your face, but they're, you know, they have purpose. And that's another thing that I do in this song and all my songs. Is I don't have just random sounds in there just to fill it up. Every sound I have in there has a purpose, and if I took even one of these sounds out, the fucking song wouldn't sound the same, right? So this song's really fucking basic as far as what's going on all at the same time, but everything that's in it has purpose. You know what I'm saying? You want things in there to have purpose. So let's continue on to the song. And all it is, as far as drums go, all it is this clap, little snare roll. Pitching up over time, and then pitching right back down. That's it. That's it. Dude, this has been helpful as fuck, dude. We haven't even gotten to the drop yet, Dylan Targaryen. We'll get there. We will get there, Daddy. Let's keep rolling. I think I have the sub volume right. Yeah, I bounced to the audio already. Because whenever I was making this, I was making it on my Mac, and you know, Macs can't barely take the power. Let's just keep rolling. All it is, and then I have this little roll sample. Just going into it. So you hear that little bit of reverb going on, all right? It's kind of, and I'm not using a syn right here. I have this thing on my master chain, and I'm going to open it up. It's this bass clef washout. I'm sure a lot of y'all have heard of this. I'm sure that DeFry has informed y'all about this, educated y'all about this. If they haven't, then it looks like I need to be your teacher from now on, okay? So we're going to keep going. Just kind of just washing it out ever so lightly. This is just the build. I'm not playing anything else. Going out of it and then re-washing back out going into the drop. That's where that reverb's coming from. Are you drinking a coffee, Pat? No, but those are fucking delicious. Oh, whenever the song comes back in, all I did was take the piano and I just... Well, I took the Actually, we'll get into that in the drop. Never mind. So yeah, let's just watch the build. I'll explain the build as it goes on. All this clap. I have this little snare build from the main snare, just pitching up over time. The fire? What'd I say? I said DeFry. That's hilarious. Oops. Can you walk us through your sidechain? Yes, Eric Wilkinson. Wilson. Here, let's keep it rolling. Oh, yeah, and they have this little drum, little riser, and that's not me doing anything. That was literally just a sample I've done. Dirty audio is what it looks like. And then just the claps, and obviously cut the low end out of your claps and stuff like that. I didn't cut the low end out of this little tom build, even though it has some. But the thing is I don't really care about that fighting my sub right now, just because I'm in the build-up, and I don't really care if my sub's as clean as possible, just because I only want it to be super clean, right, you know, on the drop, right? So the drop's where all the magic happens, in my opinion. Oops, let's do this build again. Literally, all it is, we got just this crowd clap, 2 risers, white down, white up. That's all the effects are. That little fucking pluck thing, it's not even pitching up. It's just going to reverb out over time. And then this sound, and then we're going to make over how I made that sound. And that's it. It's a very simple, very basic build, but it works, dude, and that's all it works. They also don't know how to teach you how to read in Mississippi, dude. You don't know that. You're not from there, Ace, Utah. It's the bookworm. And that's just me recording myself going, it's the bookworm. I do a lot of my own vocals. Just about like 90% of my songs where there's like any type of vocal pre-drop, it's usually me. But I know what y'all want to know right now. Y'all want to know how I made this bass right here. I know that's what y'all want to know. Turn down the output from Ableton if you can. Hard to hear you talk over the track playing. Okay. Or, yeah, I can do that. I'm so sorry, Kevin David. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Oh, my God. Turn it down 3 more. Por favor. Oh, dude, you can speak in Spanish to me. Let's rock it. All right, I turned it down. Hopefully that's going to be okay. Or I can just turn my mic up, whichever one, you know, easy. Both of them are easy fixes. Or like 6, probably. I thought he said prob. I thought it said PBR at first. We'll try that. We'll see how this goes. So I know that y'all want to know. So I'm just going to go say, dude, distortion. Let me turn this AC unit on because I'm dying. I'm in Louisiana heat right now, boy.
Make your music stand out, get more views, and way more engagement. Bring your music to life. Get Music Visualizer. In every format, even for social media. Get started today. The link is in the description.
Okay. So I had to resample this sound twice. Okay, so this is the original patch right here, and then I resampled it. So the main thing about this mic up, I don't know what you're saying, Targaryen. Do you use a mic to record? Oh yeah, I use a mic. I don't use this mic. This mic's from lessons in podcasting. I have a studio mic somewhere around here, but I had to resample this sound twice. Okay, so this sound took a lot of resampling, but it's nothing crazy as far as waveformats goes. I think all of this is a sine wave. What do you think of the coffee PBR? It's fucking delicious, dude. It's fucking delicious. I'm gonna turn up my mic a little bit too. I see trash. Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of trash in everything I do, right? So let's look at the patch and serum real quick. So all this fucking is, right? It's a sine wave. Nothing else. There's a little bit of pitch bend going on. Raise the mic level up some, please. God damn, boy. Hopefully this is perfect by this point. Hopefully this is perfect at this point. So, look. I have a pitch go into I have a little envelope go into the coarse pitch. Is it even doing anything? I'm scared to fuck with it at this point. Was it doing anything? Is it at a value? I wish I could hover over it. Oh yeah, it's at 2. Okay, cool. That's it. It's all in the fucking post-processing, bros and gals. So let's see what all we got here. We got a lot of isotope trash. We got erosion. We got 2 more trashes. We got a lot of OTT. We got filtering. More trashes. Compression. trashes, EQing. You know what I'm saying? So this is what it sounds like the first time without doing any type of like I said, I resampled this sound 2 times. So it sounds like shit from the get-go. Like, this is going to sound horrible. I know what you're thinking. Oh, my God, Tvboo, how can you hear that and know that you can make something really dope out of that? Oh, my God, are you Jesus? The answer is yes. All right. So, look, I'm not even going to, I guess, I don't even know if I should go over each individual. I got some convolopes going on, maybe that one and the different ones. I'm doing multi-band. There's multi-band going on in the trashes. So the trashes aren't just simple, like very basic. They actually have a lot of shit going on. Like this one's filtering. That one's not doing anything as far as distortion-wise. This one is doing that. I thought I had a convolupe on one of them. I could be wrong, dude. I'm not perfect. Just cutting out some of the sort of the low mids right there because I know that they're just going to get boosted right back up. This is another multi-band that I'm doing right there. It's just on the mids and highs on trash. If y'all don't know about isotope trash, all it is a 15 seconds later, 15 seconds of scrolling later, you can get to the end of the... Yeah, it's a big... Honestly, this isn't that big of a post-processing chain for me. I'm going to be real. All my music now... Majority of it is just post-processing. That's it. Keep in mind your face cam is on the top left. You mean my right? I can put it in front of this screen if you'd like. All right, that actually might not be a bad idea since I'm looking at the screen. Let's see. Let me get it right. Oh, dude, now I'm so much closer to y'all. We'll do it like that. Why not? If y'all like this angle, if y'all like the other angle better, tell me. I'll angle it however you want. I'm a pleaser. Okay. We just couldn't see serum. You couldn't see the serum. There's nothing on the serum. All the serum was just a fucking. All it was a sine wave. Serum is not important in this case. You could use any synth to make this sound. It's all in the post processing. All it is, let's see. I'm watching it. Yeah, I'm seeing the serum getting pulled up on the screen. You could use operator. You could use razor. Anything that gets a sine wave, dude. Streamlab top left. I'm confused at this point. Oh, the mods you were talking about. Got you. Sorry about that. Yeah, it probably was by my camera. All right, yeah. All the envelope, it's just this second envelope on the pitch. It's very simple. Like I said, it's very subtle. It might not even be that big of a difference, to be honest. Like I said, this project file pisses me off. It's so simple, man. Yeah, okay, I get that now. Thank you, Eric Wilson. But like I said, it's all post-processing right here. All right, and then I went and did it again, so let me just refreeze that and unfreeze it. So without this chain on this bitch, I think all I did was add another trash, and then this is where I did all my filtering and auto panning. I mean, I'm sure y'all already know, I'm going to assume, but if not, I'll go over it, how you can turn the auto pan into an LFO, but just by turning the phase all the way up, and then you can just make it into an LFO there. But without all this shit, a little bit of EQ, and I think this might be where I did the convolupe on the isotope trash. Nope. All it is a rectifier. Wow. Doesn't it just piss you off? It's so simple. Without it, sounds horrible. But then you add it. This angle is less flattering. Okay, I'll move it back then. The angle doesn't matter here. You know, what matters is the knowledge that you're receiving. Okay? So all I did was take this little patch right here is literally the only synth I used for the rest of the fucking song. I manipulate this to do what I want it to. Okay? So let's go over what I did to make it do what I want. Right now it's just a patch, nothing crazy. That whoop, 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 whoop. That's when it starts changing up, dude. That's when you get the movement. Cool, we're back. Seems like y'all didn't like that angle. So this right here. All I did is I took this note and I just extended it. I probably duplicated it and just fucked with the fades to get them sound like that. Can someone remind me what the shortcut to highlight all the effects at once? So if you want to highlight all the effects, you can just grab, hit the very first one, hold shift, and hit the very last one. It grabs them all, and to get them into a group, hit Command G, and then it groups them all together. Hope that answered for you. That pad, that wee sound. Like I said, if y'all got any type of questions, man, I'm looking at it right here, and I can answer right now. You feel me? Let's go to this little wub. All this is, unfreeze it, all it is an auto filter. And the only thing I'm automating is the fucking frequency coming up, and I have an LFO going, so it's literally just a wub right here. Very, very simple, but very effective, dude. And then I just have it kind of fight, kind of talking to each other. And this is a different type of filter where I just open it up the low pass really quick. You can see the automation. This automation right here is the frequency of the sound, and then this is the resonance, and this is what is this? It's the frequency as well. Oh, that's the other filter. Don't mind this one up here. This one means nothing for this sound right here because that filter is turned off. I'm using two different filters, which I could have just used the one, and then I could have did a lot more automation, but this was 2 years ago, and I was a lot lazier of a producer 2 years ago, and that's why my fucking project file is exactly what you need. How does it sound without the auto filter? Okay, yeah, very good question. So without the auto filter, with it, without. Without, it's just a sustained note, nothing too crazy. That's it, without it. What do you recommend for a mix to be hitting on the master? I don't know a good mix. I don't know what that question is. What do you recommend for a mix to be hitting on the master? Are you talking about like as far as volume goes before I do a master? It just depends, man, honestly. I don't have a set rule that I go with. I try not to have like rules whenever I'm doing my mix downs and mastering, just because you can get really cool outcomes. Just whatever sounds good, dude. You know, talk about the less than ideal environment. Oh, okay, yeah. So I was telling Alex to fire. I hope I said that right. The other day when we talked, when I made this song. So I was working at a stage production. For stage production, I was an audio tech. And I was working this job for some fucking like little kids dance recital or whatever. And I brought my computer because I knew once everything was set up, I was going to have a lot of time in between sound check and the show to just work on music. And so I'm just sitting there at the job, and I literally bought trash the day before, and I just wrote this little melody, and then I literally turned it into a song on the job. I wrote this song on a job. I used to write I wouldn't say most, but I wrote this song, my most popular song, working a fucking job that I hated. But I did it because, I had to do it, bro. Just working at a job, dreaming of what I wanted to do, dreaming of what could be. But you know what? While I was working, I was still working at what I wanted to do. Do you gain stage? I don't know what that means, dude. Okay, I'm ignorant. Mixed down. Okay, I'm sorry. Interesting. Cool. So yeah, without the filter, it's literally, even on this one, without the filter, all it is just a sustained note. Same thing right over here. Same filter. On a scale from 1 to 10, how important do you find music theory and writing your music? I find it a 10 in my opinion, but opinions are like assholes, bro. Everyone wants to put their fingers inside of them, dude. So you just gotta, just take it as you want. I think music theory is very important. How long were you producing before you took off? Long time. I won't say long. I've only been producing for like 5 years, 5.5 years, something like that. But I've been doing music my entire life. I started playing drums when I was 9. I started touring in bands when I was 13, and I started producing when I was like 19. What do you use to sidechain compression on the drums? Very good question. All I do, very basic, dude. I'm not using any third-party plugins. I try to use as little as possible. So on my mids, I know a lot of people do like a trigger track to get their sidechaining. I do it sometimes as well. But for this, all I'm using is the Ableton compressor, just sidechain to my kick and snare. And then we can visually see it sidechaining right here. What is very cool about the drums, though, and I do want to go over it, is the snare. Okay, the snare's really cool in this song because it's just this snare, that one, and I layered it with the same snare but pitched down 7 semitones, dude. So to the 5th down of this snare. But together, they sound really good. They sound really great together. And all I'm doing on the drum group itself is just is a stock glue compressor on Ableton. Go over to the glue compressor down yonder and just drum full parallel wherever that might be right here. And that's all I did. I think I turned the threshold down 1 dB because it made it too loud. But I know I made this whenever it was Ableton 9. And do you have a click under your drums? A click under my drums? I don't think so. I know with Ableton 10, the drum bus in here is a fucking game changer, and I use that on my group every single track, and that didn't have that at the time, so I didn't have any type of transient shaping. Even my master, I didn't have a transient shaper over here. And so, yeah, so I know what y'all want to know is that little wah, 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 because that sounds fucking cool. Actually, before we get to that part, I want to talk about the effects and the vocals and how they just kind of fill the song up and make them more exciting. Let me close all these little risers and stuff like that. And I'll open up all the drop effects, as the kids are calling them these days. So, let's see, any advice on learning how to rap? Yeah, dude, just write. Just write every day. Literally. If you want to do anything, just do it every day. You can do fucking anything in this world. Just don't be a little bitch, all right? Just get to work, son. So this right here. That wah, wah, wah. I think all this is a little sample, a pad. It's an F, and I pitched it down, I pitched it up, but then I took it down a semitone, so it's an E. Because E to F, there's only one half step. And so that's an E. It's just a pad, so it's tonal, but I'm just kind of using it as like a pumping effect. But since it's in the same key, it just sounds so good, and it just fills the back of the mix. Like it's turned down negative 15.5 dB. Would you go over break it down as well, or Strawberries? Just curious. No, break it down. I'm not going to go over any collabs just because there's parts of it that I didn't have control over creating whenever it's collabs. So the only thing I want to do is just focus on the damn solo tracks. What order did you write this in? The drop first and then the melodies? For this song, I wrote the melody, the dun, 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 on the piano roll. That's it. And that's it. And then I did the sound design and just made the beat over it. And there's this little white noise coming up, sucking into this little fill. And the little fill's up here in the drums. And I'm panning these up to the left and right. I've panned them pretty heavily. I probably wouldn't pan them as hard anymore, just because I'm learning. Like, panning is really cool whenever you're listening on like a in-home studio, but like whenever you're playing like festivals and stuff, like a lot of people aren't really getting those pannings as much. Yeah, it's the fucking Wookworm, dude. So let's talk about more of the drop, because it starts getting a little crazy. It gets these little wobbles. So all that is, and I did it separately. I did it somewhere and then resampled it. So all that sound is, it's the same sustain note. Ooh, where is it? Because all that is a frequency shifter. Here it is. It's over here. Let me see if I can find where it's done. down here, maybe. Yep. So, like, it's this sound. I have this frequency shifter going on and off, and I'm just messing with the rate and the amount. You can get some really wobbly type effects. What BPM? This is 150 beats per minute. I have a ton of samples, but can't find the right one sometimes. Do you have certain ones that you turn to regular, or do you just do lots of browsing? I do a lot of browsing. What is that your normal approach to new ideas? Melody first, then build from there? Majority of the time, yes. Typically, I have a full idea for a song before I approach it. I won't say typically, but a lot of the times I'll spend days just doing sound design, and then I'll just save all my sounds. I have a little sound pack, sample pack that I'm working on over here, but it's just like a fuck ton of bass sounds and like little jams. Like I'll record like 7 minutes of like me messing with one synth and making it do 100 different things, and just save it for a rainy day to whenever, not a rainy day, but for a good day, whenever I have like inspiration for a song, like I have a full idea for a track, and then I can just, if I need something, I can just pull from it, and then it's there ready for me to go. How do you edit your voice to make the hookworm vocal? I think all I did was pitch it up. I think it's the most simple thing ever. It's the hookworm. Nope, it's a frequency shifter. I think I didn't even pitch this thing, I don't think. Oops. Yeah, I pitched it one semitone down, turned the formants all the way down, and then I just used a frequency shifter. So without it, it's the hookworm. But with it, it's the hookworm. Seems kind of fucking, Wookie, bro. But back to that little, like this thing right here. So that was just me taking the sustain note. The sustain note up here. Turning the frequency shifters on. They're doing the exact same thing. So I probably just automated one with the dry wet at 50%. The dry wet at 50%, that matters. If it's at 100%, you're not going to get that kind of, like the kind of wobbly, weird shit. And then I'm just messing with the amount. It's very, very simple, but it's very effective. I learned that technique from Jansen. Y'all hear him do a lot in his songs, and y'all have probably heard me do it a lot in my songs. It's really cool. You can get some really cool effects out of it, but it's just, and the more you duplicate this frequency shifter, the wetter it's going to sound. So I duplicated it 3 times, and this is what it sounds like. See what I'm saying? The more you duplicate it, the just crazier it's going to get. But I still kind of wanted that crunchiness. Yeah, very, very, very simple. And I have this little reverse snare. All I did was just reverse the reverb of the snare, and then I resampled the reverb tail of a snare and then reversed it. What's a good method for enveloping one main synth into many different sounds? Well, basically, as far as good methods go, is what I'm showing you. Is I take the sound, take this melody, and then put it into a bunch of different filters. Throw different effects on it, maybe grab a phasers and throw like LFOs on the phasers and make it do some really crazy shit, because you can get some really weird sounds and stuff like that. Do you have any automation tricks for main melodies / synths? Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm showing you right now. I'm literally showing you. I took the melody and automated filters. It's, right here. Oop. All that is that auto filter. But we got to keep moving on because I want to get some strawberries. But that's basically the drop, man. The drums, like I said, I went over the drums, and it's the same snare. Duplicated it, and I pitched it down 7 semitones. Did you already go over the processing on your drums? Yes. My processing on the group is just a full parallel glue compressor on the drums themselves. And I think that second snare, yeah, I cut the low end out the second snare. I didn't cut the low end out of the reverse snare, but I think I did that before I even resampled it. So the fills are cool. Hats. I don't know if y'all do this with his hats, but whenever y'all do like eighth notes, like like quarter notes are fine because they're just going 1, 2, 3, 4. But when you do, eighth notes 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and it's like I grew up as a drummer, and drumming, whenever you hear a drummer hit the hi-hat, it's not the same velocity each time. So what I'll do is, if I'm doing eighth notes, is I'll take that second hi-hat. I turned it down 7 semitones. I mean 7 dB. So it just kind of makes it give it a little bit more bounce, bro. My bad doing dabs at the same time, dude. Dude, quit doing dabs, bro. Smoke crack like a man. One thing I did want to go over too, it's like the little like down effect. If I can find the sample right here. This right here. So this sample, what did I do to it? I just pitched this up. So the sample originally sounds like this. I'm gonna turn it up. So what I did is there's this mode in Beats mode, and it doesn't have a name for it down here because the thing about different modes, Beats mode tries to preserve transients. Like modes like Complex try to preserve the full sound itself, but Beats will preserve the transients, and you can modulate, like you can really hone in on transients in the Beats mode. And there's this mode up here. It's normally at this loopback mode. If you go all the way up, there's this thing I like to call it the wall mode. I don't know what the name of it is. I call it the wall mode. And all it is the transients hitting the wall, but you can shorten that wall to the transients to kind of make the sound tighter. So like when it's all the way up, we could bring it all the way down. It just makes it really really tight together. How do you get the bass line or other sounds to follow the melody? Oh, wow. It's very simple. So I took the MIDI from right here, and I copied the MIDI to the bass, to the sub. It's the same MIDI. I mean, all it is a straight sine wave, the hip-hop Ableton sub. And if I want to get like that kind of wubbing effect with it, I just used an auto filter. I'm going to auto pan in the face all the way up to where it turns into an LFO. Do you make the Walrus... Did you make the Walrus Tales sample? I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. But let's keep moving on because I want to get to Strawberries. So we went over how I made the sounds. Why do you cut off the high percussion of your hats? Here's the thing, bro. I saw that I did that today. And I don't know why I did that. This was 2 years ago. I probably wouldn't do that now. But here's the thing, man. It sounds really good. It sounds really... I cut a lot of the highs off on all my high percussion. You can see that. Like, the highs are really cut off. And I normally wouldn't do that, but it sounds good, dude. Like, nowadays, I don't even fuck with taking the highs off my high percussion. I just let them ride all the way. But, hey, man, if it works, bro. Fuck it. Someone said, did you write the sub separately in this? I mean, all it is the same MIDI notes, and I just dragged it into a hip-hop sub, Ableton stock, like, operator thing. It's very simple. So all it is keep moving. Second build. In second build, all I did was, like, I did these little breaks, like, where the effects cut out, and it's just like this sound right here is stretched. It's super stretched. We can see that. It's repitched too. All I did was stretch it 3 times and then repitch it, and then I just had this fill going over it. Stretch again. Another fill. Same build up as far as drums. It's the wolf work. That little laser, dude, that's literally a Mad Sack sample I found. That's it. Effective though. Same with that tonal pad pumping. And I already taught y'all how I did the little frequency shifter wub thing right here. I think I did it up here for the first. Yep. All it is just the sample itself with the frequency shifter on it, and I resampled it. That's it. Walrus Tales is a pack that is on Ableton's site. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't know it. I don't know that pack. Little fills, panning. Then I chopped up those, like, I just chopped up those frequency shifting wubs and just made them, like, a little tighter. Kind of like, like the rhythm kids do or the dubstep guys. Whoop. And then it's just resampled down here. I don't know if you answered this earlier, but how do you decide when to add background effects slash atmosphere. So the thing is I'm adding stuff to complement these things. You know what I mean? I'm adding these background noises to add, but I don't want to take away. Some people, adding too much can take away from the main idea. I want the main idea to be there, but I want the effects just to kind of complement them and sit in the back of the mix. All these effects are turned super quiet. This one's almost negative 17 dB. I have this white noise going down. It's almost at negative 40. Those tonal pad pumpings is almost at negative 16. So it's like they're really quiet, but they're adding to it. They're just making the energy level stay there. You know what I mean? They're just keep on riding it. You know what I'm saying, brother? Like I said, just chop them up. Vocal. And I just stretched the vocal to where it said it's the wookworm. I took the same thing and just stretched it to it's the wookworm. But it's the same. I didn't add any new effects down here that weren't in the first drop. I just might have moved them around a little bit and pitched them. It's the same thing. This drop, as far as the sound goes, the main bass, it's the same bass as the first drop. I'm just making it do a little bit more things. And when I do that, I mean, I'm messing with the fades, making some sounds tighter, resampling it, doing different frequency shifter shit. But that's it, man. That's the song. It's very basic, but it's very effective. Very effective. And if you jack my flow, I will find you, and I will kill you. Take these techniques and apply them to your tracks, I think one thing that you can really take away from all this is the post-processing, as far as all the different distortions I added onto the main bass. And then I did it again, and then resampling, and then doing some filtering stuff and more compression. And then also taking, tonal effects, like pads or that chime thing that I found that I pitched up and EQ'd. I think those are the biggest takeaways on this song is, not doing too much, but doing just enough. They're simple ideas, but bringing all these ideas together makes it sound really complicated. It's all about keep it simple, stupid, bro. For Rizzo, pound it. All right, cool. Any questions on Wookworm real quick? Because I'm about to move on to Strawberries. I know I've probably spent way too much time on certain things on Wookworm. Quick rundown on the mixdown. Well, as you can see, all my group channels are at negative 10 dB because I don't mix down the groups. I mix down the individual tracks. And I just do it by ear. I don't really have any tips other than make sure everything's EQ'd, make sure all the low end. So on my groups, the low end's taken out of everything. My low end's taken out of all over the place. Not on the vocals, but I probably already did it on the tracks themselves. The only thing where the low end's not taken out of is probably just my kick and snare, if I'm being honest. And the sub, of course. But, yeah, very simple stuff. Oh, shit. What do you get inspired by when you write new ideas? Different thing. I get inspired a lot by comedy. As I am a stand-up comedian, whenever I'm laughing, I'm really good with being creative. I've been listening to a lot of Japanese lo-fi chill hop because they have really pretty. It's like those anime melodies, but they're slow them down, and I've been really getting inspired by that lately. Do you preset surf in trash, or do you create your own patches? I'll do both. Whatever's quickest and whatever sounds the best. Sometimes making if I have an idea of what type of distortion I want, then I'll make it myself. But if I just pick one and it sounds good, I don't think about it. I don't second guess it. I just keep moving, dude. Thing is, you have the idea. You got to get the idea down quick. So, I write a song. I'll write the main idea for a song. I'll say 80% of the track. I'll write that in 3 or 5 hours. But I'll spend a whole week finishing the rest of the song. What's a frequency shifter on FL, dude? I don't fucking know, bro. I'm an Ableton guy, as you can see. How do you decide which exact frequency to cut the lows of your mids and highs? I don't exactly know. I watched a stream one day, so I'll cut anywhere between 100 and 120. And if I'm doing heavy distortion on the sub, then I might cut a little bit more to 150. But typically I don't go below 100 and I won't go above 150. That's pretty much it. How did you master this dog? So the thing is, the mastering chain on this is different from what I did in the beginning. So this is a master chain that Jansen had on our collab, got that. And it's so simple and it's so dumb. And it pissed me. This master chain honestly pissed me off because it was it's so simple, but it sounded so good. And prior, I was on my Mac whenever I made this track, so I'm missing some plugins that I illegally downloaded because I'm an internet pirate, But yeah, I think I had like some transient shapers, I had some different EQs, and I had Isotope Ozone 6, and I was doing all the different stuff. How do you EQ your effects? Good question. Did I do that here? Yep, I have my reverb sidechain to my kick, and it's also sidechained to my snare, but that's honestly kind of pointless. I probably would take that snare sidechain off, and I just did 120 hertz. I'd probably bring that up a little bit. And then I have this little rectifier as a send. I saw this in a stream that company was doing, and I tried it out, and you can just get like some really, and it's really subtle. Like I think everything's sent to it like -40, and I'm probably even doing less at this point. And I think now I'm actually...
Make your music stand out, get more views, and way more engagement. Bring your music to life. Get Music Visualizer. In every format, even for social media. Get started today. The link is in the description.
I'm actually putting this at mono, so it's like a crunchy like mono signal. Very simple. Very simple. Kilohertz is a good one. Yeah, kilohertz is super sick. What up, Crawdaddy? Do you use any MIDI devices or any other external instruments? If so, advice. Real quick, don't want to take too much time away from your teaching plans. Yes, I have an Ableton Push, and I have a MPK 49 key keyboard, and I'll use both of those depending on if I want to play some piano out or if I just want to fuck around on the Ableton push pads. And they help me out a lot. I use them every day. I definitely recommend that. How did you do that? Well, I just showed you how I did all this. So, with all that being said, I'm going to go into Strawberries at this point because we are 45 minutes into the lesson, and that means there's another 45 minutes. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Strawberries. Nope. I don't understand stens for some reason. They make my brain hurt. Okay, cool. Let me explain sends to you really quick, okay? So imagine your main snare. Think of your main snare. We're only going to think about using a main snare. So if you want to get like some type of reverb tail out of your main snare, if you drag an external like Ableton reverb plugin, not extra, if you drag a reverb plugin from Ableton directly onto your snare, you're washing out your snare. So what a reverb does is washes a sound out, okay? When you add a reverb directly onto a sound, and it doesn't always wash the sound out. If you turn it down like at 5% and like turn the size down, you can get some cool stereo effect out of it. But that's not the point right now. If you just drag a reverb onto a snare, it's going to wash that transient out. And what do you want your snare to be majority of the time in a song? You want that snare to be in your face, hitting you like your stepdad used to, That's what you want. You don't want it in the back, scared for its life. You want to, take that slap like a man. So that's... Like for, as you saw, I didn't drag any reverbs directly onto my basses because I wanted my main basses super beefy and loud and in my face. If I dragged a reverb onto them, it would kind of wash them out. Now, sends are really good because think of a reverb effect as a wet signal. So we would be taking a wet signal and putting it onto our snare, and that would be putting a wet onto a dry, okay? And what a send does, a send is a channel just for your wet. So if you send a snare or your basses to your send, like a reverb send, you have a fully wet signal, and then you still have your dry signal. You're not taking a wet and putting it on top of a dry, washing it out. It's two totally different channels. That's why reverbs, I'm using a Valhalla right here, but my Valhalla, it's at 100% the mix. All it's getting is nothing but a wet signal, right? Nothing but wet. I hope that explained it. I try my best to do that, dude. Yeah. Hope that explains it, dude. So bad. All right, so this is Strawberries. And this is a love song, actually. So it's actually a very meaningful song. Song means a lot to me. I wrote it about this girl. Yeah, Push is worth it. Push is dope. Mic check. This one's louder than Bookworm, so I think I might have to turn this one down. I might have to turn that down. If that's too quiet again, let me know. But let's go back. good.
Mic check, mic check.
White noise. Very simple. Vocal with delay.
I met a girl and her booty tastes like strawberries. Hold up.
I'm sure y'all have heard the song. There's no point to play the whole thing at this point. Why is it louder? Did you get better? I don't know, dude. I'm not, Actually, I do know. So I just threw this master chain on before the lesson because my old master chain is gone because I made this on my Mac with a lot of illegal, unpaid for plugins because I'm a fucking internet pirate. Why is it louder? That's why, dude. That's why. And sometimes perceived loudness is a thing, too. So even though songs can be like on the same decibel level, you can get perceived loudness. You are a god at fills. We can go over fills because I do a lot of them. What is this one? That's just a little sample. I do them over here. Right here. All it is samples. Different samples. And all I did was just fucking panel. The snare. Obviously not have something on top of the snare. Yeah. So let's go over the sound of the song, okay? So this little... All it was this patch right here that I made, and I just... Let's see what the patch looks like. Only thing that's automating over here is a morph and a frequency, kind of opening up as the verse section comes in. But this is a... this is actually a preset. Wow. I haven't used a preset in God knows how long. And all this is a square wave with white noise and chorus and distortion. Very simple. Very effective. Very effective. But yeah, we'll go over some more field stuff, absolutely. And then I layered it with, what is this under it? The sub. I don't know why I put the sub there and not in the actual subgroup. I don't know why I did that, but I did that, so fuck it. As long as the frequencies aren't fighting each other. They're not. We're good. But all this is just one synth. This is the only thing that's going on in this drop. I have this little, like real sounding drum loop. Took a little bit of the high end out and just sidechained it to my real kick and snare. Actually, it's not even sidechaining my snare. There it is. But my snare's actually not playing. I'm actually just using the snare from this. All the high percussion is everything. All the high percussion is all coming out of this little drum loop that I chopped up, and yeah, I just chopped it up. That's it. To get what I wanted. I don't even have any hats. I just have a crash going right there. Like I said, these project files are so simple they'll piss you off because, like I said, my project files aren't this simple anymore, and I wish they were because it worked. It worked so well. Like all these songs did really fucking good. These are still some of my personally favorite tracks, and these are always like a crowd favorite tracks. What does the sub patch look like? I imagine all it is a sine wave. Yep. No, it's the sub oscillator with a triangle wave in Serum. That's it. That's it. Simple is stupid does. Wait, no, stupid. Whatever. Oh, whatever. And then I have this little police siren, and it's just a heavy delay on it. And reverb. Reverb because I don't want it beefy. I don't want it in my face, so I'm washing it out. If I want it in my face, I probably wouldn't use this reverb and maybe just use a sin, which I do use a sin in this case, too. I guess I really wanted this one to be reverbed. And then EQ'd. Took some of this area out because it might have been fighting with something else. Who knows?
Mic check.
Vocal with delay. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Let's see. Is the delay on here? Yep, it's directly on it. I didn't use this in.
Mic check.
Woo! Ping pong delay right here. Woo, 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 woo.
1, 2,
and then same delay. And then the yeah. It's very basic. As far as like riser, build effects go, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then like this little white up 6. Yeah, and then siren. Like 7 effects. That's a lot of effects, honestly. Probably would use less. Let me see the EQ on the sub. Yeah, absolutely. So this is the sub. I have 120. I'm cutting off the high end at 120 hertz, and on the synth, I'm cutting off the low end at 120 hertz. Very basic, very simple, but very effective. So we want effectiveness, okay? It doesn't matter if it's the most complicated thing in the world. All that matters is if it sounds good. All right? Does it sound good? It sounds fantastic. You know, the idea is what's important. You know, you can flex the sound design all day, but if your idea isn't good, then it's not going to stick with people. You feel me? Are you using sins in this track? Absolutely I am. So we see that in this little police siren thing. Let's see if I have any in the vocals. Yeah, on this little vocal, where's that sample? That's in the drop. And I think I have some on the drops. Yeah, I have a little bit of sin on the drop drop basses themselves. Just a little bit. It's very subtle, but, you know, even that little bit of subtleness can fill up the back of your mix and just kind of make it, you know, fill out, you know, sound a little better. But all right, let's talk about the build. So it's just this clap, and I'll probably cut the low end on the clap. Yeah, you have to cut the low end out. And then how he feels. Great. Same concept with the snare. You're going to hear me do the same snare build in almost all my songs. Just pitched up. And then I filter. So something that's very good. Think about on your build. Like, think about whenever you have a build with the low end. I probably didn't do it as much in this track, but I do it with all my new tracks. Yeah, I did it on this track. I'm cutting the low end out as it builds up. I'm filtering that low end out of the kick and the sub. Because think about, like, the song sucking out. You want that low end on the drop to really smack you like your father used to do. You know, like, so I like to take the low end out towards the end of my build just so it sounds like it's getting really thin and just kind of sucking out. That way when the drop hits, it's a lot more effective. So like you can see on my kick, I just automated the low end out. And then right here, I even have the kicks quieter in the verses and builds than in the drop, 2 dB quieter actually. Just that way my kick is a lot more powerful and in your face. And you can use that. You could do that with the utility, but I just, you know, it's pretty fucking simple just to highlight all the stuff you want and just, you know, go -2 right here and then just go about your day. Is that an Ableton thing? I don't know. How do you process your background fillers in the drops? I struggle with that, getting them to sit perfectly. As far as processing the background fillers, I don't do much processing at all as far as background noises go. My background noises are usually just effects that I just EQ really good. The only major processing I'm doing is on my main basses. You know what I mean? I just make sure to use really good samples. You know, if you use really, as far as like background noises goes in drums, like just get really samples. Splice sounds is the thing, and the most amazing thing on this planet is splice sounds. And you got the most crazy, perfect samples on there that you'll ever fucking find. Let's talk about the sounds real quick, because the sounds are about to piss you off because they're so simple, but they're effective.
Hold up.
Y'all want to see this patch right here? So this is the patch for it. I got out of what he said. It's layered, wet, and dry, so you have both knobs commenced. Yeah. So Kevin, okay, I missed a little bit. This is an Ableton thing. I guess you're talking about the sends. No, I'm pretty sure there's sends and buses like in pretty much every DAW, I would think. I'm pretty positive there is. So this patch, right? So all this is a sine wave, y'all. Wow, with a little bit of dittoed 2. I think that's the name, how you pronounce. I don't know how to read that well, y'all. I'm gonna be real. But it's a sine wave, pitch envelope on the sound itself. So I think it's at, what is it sitting at? 4. Just pitching down every time it hits. Oh, wait, might not see it behind my face. Sorry, I'm going to move it. So just, yeah, I got to remember that my face is right there. So, yeah, the pitch envelope, and then this LFO is just on the distortion, so it just distorts a little bit. I think whenever it hit, it was too distorted, so I kind of wanted that almost like a pumping effect. But as far as the post-processing, it's everything. Because without the post-processing right here, let me group them all together and turn them off. So this is with it. Without it. The post-processing is everything, and I probably did a bunch of different things. I probably did a lot of like multi-band stuff, and I might have even made a few. This one is not doing. What is that one? This is doing nothing. But I don't want to go through every single one because that could take time. Because I use a lot of trash, as y'all can see. It's everything. Dildo too. Yeah, dildo too. Thank you. More distortion. Okay, so that's that sound. It's very basic, but I made it do a lot of different things. Oh shit! I think my computer froze. Oh, there we go. I made it do a lot of different things as far as like, so it changes on this next app, and all that is I automated the fucking distortion. I put a macro on my distortion, and then I just moved it up, so it's just more distorted right in the beginning. Can we talk about your kicks? Absolutely. You ready to have your mind blown of simplicity? So all my kick is, right, is a kick sample, and I have a mono utility on there. And if you want to just put it in mono, you can go over here to utility. You can grab this little mono preset, or you can just grab a utility down and just hit mono, and now your kick's in mono. That's all my kick is. No processing, nothing. I think I might have a glue compressor. Yeah, I have a glue compressor on the group, the full parallel drum glue compressor in, under the glue compressors, go down, then drum full. And like I said, I made this enable to 9, and if I already did this, if I would make this track now, I would use the full parallel glue compressor, and I would also use the drum bus in Ableton, because the drum bus is fucking a game changer for drums now, dude. Because you can tune your drums, and then you can, like, the frequency knob down here is just a frequency curve going to that exact frequency, and you can boost it. So you could straight up, like, if we, and now I know this is totally away from the lesson or the song, but this is something that you could do if you want to make 808s out of a sound. So like out of a kick. So like, let me just see what key the kick's in. If you want to check the key, you can look at an EQ, or you can look at a spectrum. Let's look at a spectrum. So this is an F sharp. So like, if we wanted to make an F sharp 808 without doing any synthesis, we could just take a drum bus, turn the boom all the way up, tune this to F sharp over here. Shit. Want the boom all the way up? This is what it sounds like now. I don't know if how clean the low end's coming on to the other side. Sharp over here. I'm listening to it. I want to see if I can hear it. Shit. I'm listening to it. Want the boom all the way up? This is what it sounds like now. Yeah, you could hear it. So now with the boom all the way up when the drum bus, now you have a tuned. Now you just made an 808 sample that you could resample and pitch around and fuck around in tracks. That's it. Have you tried the VST Terminal? Is Trash better? I haven't tried Terminal. Trash is the way of life. Trash is amazing. Kicks preferred mono most of the time. Yes, I put kicks on mono 90% of the time. I don't know if I've ever... Actually, I think You Ain't Got No, the song off of my new Cult Classics Volume 2 EP with that track with S-Fam, You Ain't Got No. I think that was the first time I ever had a kick that was stereo, just because like you can get some, like, you hear it with like the trap tracks where it's like the kick is really wide, but majority of the time I have my kicks in mono just because I want them coming through the middle like they're trying to have their way with me. Pretty much how I like that. So let's go over the second patch right here. This one right here. Trash is distortion. Yep, it's distortion and it's saturation. So let's go over that patch. I have it right here. Oop, that's not it. Activate it. And then unfreeze it, because hopefully I have it. Cool. So you already have your mind blown of simplicity. All this patch is, and I'm going to move it so my face isn't covering it. All it is this wavetable. I think this is like out of a Cymatics pack or something. Yeah, probably like the nuclear sound pack or anything like that. Anything else you use solely in audio? Oh, mono. My kick and my sub. That's pretty much it. The only thing I keep in mono. That's it. I can't think of anything else I'll put directly in mono. Yeah, it's the same type of curve as the last patch. Same type of idea, except the wavetable is just almost it's like a sync and a pulse width, almost like in the same thing, like in the same. It's literally like a saw wave with like a bunch of sync and pulse width together, like resampled. That's what the wavetable looks like, and it's the same distortion. So it's literally, and then like I said, the post processing is everything. So with it, without it, it sounds like this. But with it, and the only thing I'm doing to make it change on this next half is the wave. I'm moving the wavetable. Did I move the wavetable position? Yep. So I automated the wavetable right here, just kind of going down over time, and then I'm also automated the distortion to be up a little bit more. The wavetable isn't even going down. It's actually just staying straight. The only thing that's moving is the distortion is what it looks like. Oh, no, the bend. It's bending. Yep. Yeah, it's the warping and serum is the only thing that's being automated right there. So very basic, dude, but it sounds really good. And I know I've said very simple, but it's effective. And I can't stress that enough, dude. I can't stress that enough. Let me turn my AC off in this bitch because I'm freezing. It's like you don't have to have the craziest, most complicated pack, dude. If it sounds really good, just keep going on with your day. Keep moving. Keep living, bro. Any way you could disable those plugins one at a time? Absolutely. If you wanted to do that, all you had to do is just click it, and then you can automate it. So then it's on your automation line. You hit A. And I haven't been like going over how to automate, because I would assume majority of y'all know this, and I'm sure there's a lot of like beginners in here too, but I just couldn't spend time going over how to like automate and how to EQ and how to sidechain. I'll just show you how I did it, because there's just not enough time to go over each individual thought and how to do it. I can go over the thought, but how to do it would take a lot of time. And the only thing that's going on as far as effects under this sound is a white noise, dude. That's it.
Hold up.
And these little fills. And all these are different percussive samples. Little perk noises that I just added in and panned them around to do cool shit. The hats are really important too. They're not doing too much. Oh, wow, I did that in MIDI. Wow. I do everything as far as like drums go and audio now. Like I haven't done any. The only thing I do in MIDI is like my synths. That's it. But it's crazy. It's just EQ'd. And I have it sidechained to my snare for some reason. I guess they were like frequencies were kind of the same. Off subject. You say from the hurricane BS. Yeah, actually. So I live in New Orleans, and the hurricane hit Lake Charles, Louisiana, which is like 3 hours west of me. It was originally planned for hitting New Orleans, and if that was the case, we probably wouldn't have been doing this lesson this evening. I would probably be, at my parents' house in Jackson, Mississippi. But luckily, it didn't hit me. Unlucky for Lake Charles. My thoughts go out to them. Lake Charles is a dope town, and I hate that for them, bro. Hurricanes suck. But that's stuff that you deal with living down here. I mean, you know. How many layers of trash do you have a go-to process like add beef first and adding crisp? And so I don't have a process as far as like what I'm like when I add stuff. It's like, all right, so did I make this sound? Do I need to clean it up? If I need to clean it up, then I'll add like an OTT to kind of just level out those frequencies, or audio EQ and just figure out the exact frequencies I kind of want to take away. I don't do a lot of adductive EQing, do a lot of subtractive EQing, just kind of taking away, and then I'll add with distortion. So it's like, oh, I need this fatter, I need this thicker. Then, as you can see, I'm not doing anything boosting any type of frequencies. All I'm doing is taking out, which is not to say you can't do that. You can still do that stuff. Any tips for making wonky basses? Yeah, I'm giving them to you right now. Yeah, as far as like, do I need it fatter? Do I want it more distorted? Is it not there yet? Then that's when I'll start adding more trashes. Like, as you can see, I have probably 5 trashes and an OTT after. Like, it's a lot of distortion, dude. It's a lot of distortion, but it ends up really cool. So what's really cool, and y'all are going to think this is fucking fun, because I think this is really cool. A little reverse kick. Those are effective. This sound right here. So this sound right here, all this was a tom drum. That's all it was it was a tom drum. It was on like a triplet is in triplets. And all I did was pitch this down and mess with the transient. So when it's all the way up and it's a little, and you can kind of tighten it up over here in the transient mode. And that's what I did. But all this is a tom drum, bro. That's it, and it sounds fucking dope. And at this point, I did change the sub. I'm not using a sub anymore. I'm using an 808 sample just because I was trying to go for like more of a trappy vibe. I was listening to a lot of Mr. Carmack and Troy Boy that day. I remember that. How do you get your hi-hats to sit so well in the mix? I don't add so much to where they're having to struggle to get in the mix. So as you can see, there's not a lot going on at the same time. And that makes it a lot easier for getting sounds to come through a mix. That makes it so much easier. You know what I mean? Like, so if I had like, you know, a bunch of different shit going on, you know, I don't have to figure it out. But all I have to do right now is just EQ all the mids and the lows out, and all it's doing is taking up my highs, and it's just, you know, it's not hard to get it to fit, and it's turned down pretty quiet, negative 15 dB, but it's still pushing through. Same patches from the beginning of the drop. These are just pitched up. Only 2 semitones, a full step. And these vocals are fucking dope. Just kind of like a... How do you make sure your sub bass / 808 volume is perfect? So I have a sub in my studio, and my room's actually treated as well. So if it's kind of hitting me the right way, I know how I like to take it. Like, I like to take it hard, and so I like my sub to, you know, just fuck me hard. So that's all I do. Is I just kind of, all right. All jokes aside, so my sub's actually kind of loud compared to most things right there. That's the 808 sample. And then it's pretty loud compared to, like, you know, my kick and snare are -6. My kick is -6 dB. My snare's pretty quiet. Do I have anything on it? No. Wow, that's just a powerful snare. But my sub's actually pretty loud on this one. And it might just because it's the lower, it's in D minor. So it's like, you know, I think I might have, you know, if this song was an A or like a higher key, and I'm just like playing a G, like a high G, you know, I might turn the sub down a little bit, but I'm trying to really just get that low sub to just hit me like I like it, like I want it. I want you to hit me. So let's keep going. Stay focused here. Have you ever had a sub pack? No? Are you subsexual? Definitely bisexual. I don't know what subsexual means. We'll figure that out. What is that? Was that a loop, or did you make that? Or I think you're talking about the do. I want to think that's what you're talking about. So it was a sample, but I resampled it, and all I did was, it wasn't originally pitching down, and I just pitched it down. I might have stretched it a little bit, but then I just tightened the transients up a little bit using this wall mode down here, because it's typically at the loop back mode. But then when you go to this wall mode up here, here's the original transient of a sound, and whenever you bring down this transient envelope down here, it just shortens it up. It goes right up. So like, if we could, like, let me just do a quick example, because this stuff's very important. I use this all the time, and I use this technique every single day. There's a cool Tainan loop. I like to use this as an example from other students. Speaking of, I actually do private one-on-one lessons. If anyone's ever interested in that, holler. Yeah. So, like, we have this sample right here. And as you can see, it's automatically in this loopback mode. But if we go to this wall mode over here and then shorten this transient envelope, you can hear the sound tightening up on the transients. And these warp markers right here are the transients. Ableton does a really good job picking up transients. So all it is tightening it up. See, all we have to do now is just add a glass break, an 808, and some really shitty drums on top of that, and we sound like S-Fam. So, just take that. I hope you got learnt right there. For private DMs, yeah, hit me up on the DMs. Do you have full sound design days or full songwriting days? So yeah, actually I have full sound design days. I feel like majority of my days are sound design days because a lot of the ways that I approach songs is I already have a full idea for them. And I don't always have that creative spark every day. I don't. So I still want to stay really productive in the studio. So I'll spend my day just doing sound design, and I'll save all these audio samples that I'll resample everything I do and just save it in the audio because I don't worry about saving I might save the patch every now and then, but I like bouncing things to audio as far as my synths go, as you can tell. It's just I have a lot more control, I feel like, over what I can do to the sound. And then if there's days where I don't want to just do sound design, so the last 2 weeks, I won't say the last week and a half, I finished a Tvboo track like 2 weeks ago, but I don't make a Tvboo track every day. I'm in the studio working on music every single day, but I don't make a Tvboo track every day, dude, because I don't have the inspiration for that. I've been making a lot of lo-fi hip hop, and because it's really fun to do because there's no pressure on me. Like, if you have days where you can't make a song, like if you're trying to make a song that you're going to release, stop. You don't have to release every song you make, dude. I make at least a beat every day that's really fucking dope that I'm really proud of, but I'm not going to release it. I made it just for fun. Like, this shit, production, it's literally, I got into doing this because it's fun. I love making music. And sometimes the pressure of making a song and releasing a song, the whole business and stuff around it, can kind of take away from that fun. You put this pressure on you that you don't fucking want and that you don't need because you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to, it's hard to be creative whenever you have pressure on you. Some people can do it. I can't. I make my best songs where I'm feeling no pressure. I'm feeling happy. I'm laughing. I don't even think I'm making a song that day, and I start fucking around having fun. I'm like, oh God, I have a really dope song now. But if you have writer's block, trying to make a song because you're thinking you need to release it, stop, bro. Just go make hip-hop beats. Go make, like, house beats. Do anything. Like, record your vocals. Like, make rap music. It doesn't matter. Just stay productive because, you can take these things that, like, I've been making a lot of hip-hop beats, right? My drums have gotten so much better. Like, my grooves with my high percussion and all these fills, they've gotten a lot better because I've been making these hip-hop beats just for fun. And so whenever I go do an actual Tvboo track, I can take these skills that I've learned just by fucking around and apply them to my stuff. You don't always have to make a song to release, dude. Just have days for fun, you know what I mean? Like, I try to make one song. I try to make one Tvboo track a month. I do that. Most of the time I'll have two, but on minimal I want one Tvboo track a month. That I'm in the studio every single day, and I'm not just being in here fucking around. I'm still being productive because it's all learning, dude. It's all learning. Does that mean a side project? No side project. It's just I'm literally just doing it for fun, dude. Just doing it for fun. And then the whole conversing, this, that, very effective, dude. Yeah, making a joke song, dude. Just have fun, bro. It's supposed to be fun. You don't always have to go crazy with it. But we can get back into the track. That's just enough of my spiel here. So we went over to the drop. All these little cuts are the same bass from the beginning that I just chopped up. That's it. So it's the same thing. The verse part is the same exact thing. The only thing that changes now is this drop, right? So this little bump, this little thing pitching down. Make the worst Nickelback song if you're stuck and laugh the whole time. Bro, fuck you, dog. Nickelback's dope, bro. I don't know why people like to make fun of that band. That band's so dope. I like Nickelback, dude. You tell me I can't put on fucking anything. You'll rock star, bro. You start drinking beers and doing Xanax and start singing. You know, we all just want to be big rock stars, living hilltop, nothing doing, saying X bars. So this little thing right here, it's the same exact patch from here. Instead of just playing a sustained note, I'm playing quarter notes and I'm pitching it down over time. Very simple, dude. Very simple. And then over here, that's the same patch as this sound too. Except right there, in the first drop, all I'm doing is pitching it up and pitching it down. This is I'm actually playing different notes. Let's see if I have the notes saved. Yep. And like I said, same patch. I'll even show you the patch. Just all it is a sine wave. It's not a sine wave. This is one wavetable. Distortion. I'm automating the wavetable. I automate the warp and the distortion. Only 3 things automated, and then post-processing. Super simple. Sorry, I forgot you're from the South, dude. I don't know where you're from, bro, but I guarantee you there's some people out there that can jam some Nickelback. Fill. Same fill from earlier. Same patch. The only reason this sounds different than that is because I automated the warp. I think I just did a bend on that patch. I automated that bend up for that second half of the drop. And the same thing over here for this song. It sounds super wet. Like, it sounds so wet. I didn't cut the low end out of this reverse crash, but that's okay. I like to try to EQ each track individually, but in case I forget, that's why groups are important. That way I can cut the low end out of my group. And I did the same thing with this track where I cut the high end out of like my high percussion, and I don't know why I did that, but it sounds good. Do I need to start doing that again? I don't know. I might, because it sounds fucking good. How many hours do you work on music a day? I probably work on music about 6 hours a day.
Make your music stand out, get more views, and way more engagement. Bring your music to life. Get Music Visualizer. In every format, even for social media. Get started today. The link is in the description.
A day, depending on, I have some days where I have days where I'm just doing my podcast. If y'all don't listen, Talks with Tvboo podcast out every Thursday. We had an episode drop today with Buku. I have days where I'm doing podcasts. I have days where I'm just writing jokes for like my stand-up material. And but for music, I'm usually in here if I'm in a studio, I'm in here for 6 hours a day. I'm in here 6 hours a day. I'll say 6 days a week. I won't say 7 days a week, but I spend a lot of time in here. And a lot of I want to say, even though like I'm working, I'm still goofing off at the same time. When I say goofing off, I'm not trying to be serious. Like, I'm just taking sine waves and seeing some weird shit I can do with it. And that's just fun to me. I think it's just goofy. And that little wub right here. Cool, I have the patch. So all that patch is, that is a sine wave, bend plus, dildo 2, distortion, trash, and then the frequency shifter thing that I taught y'all in the Wookworm project. It's turned down to 56%. I have the rate at 1/6, and then the amount is it just kind of makes it wobble. So without them, it sounds like this. With them, same tom. Now stretch it right here. And then right here, you'll hear that little fill. All that is a snare with a ping pong delay, filtered ping pong delay. It's only on for that little second. It's only on for just a second. Oop. Like I said, effects are simple. And that's the song, y'all. Questions on this. I know I said I was going to do a Q&A at the end, but we went over the song. Yeah, that drum loop is very important in this song, actually. It's just something that I chopped up and just took bits of it that I liked. Yeah, just bits that I liked. You know, there's nothing wrong with taking samples and just dragging them in, but you need to fuck with them a little bit. You don't even have to, honestly. You can just take whatever sounds good. Here's the thing, dude. You know, I'm not saying go grab Virtual Riot's bass stabs and make a drop out of them, because that's not going to get you anywhere, you know, because there's all these, you know, that's half-assing it big time. But, you know, you might want to take his samples and stretch them and add distortions and reverse them and pitch them down and then resample them and do that same thing again. Turn them into your own thing. I didn't do that with these patches. I mean, both songs I showed y'all, Wookworm and Strawberries, all the sounds were made from basically a sine wave and a lot of post-processing. It wasn't that much post-processing. It was a good bit. Not a fuck ton, though. Yeah. Yeah. Who's the girl you wrote it for? Oh, it's a very special girl. Very special girl. It's like that rare Pokemon, you know? That Pokemon that's ass, you know? You ever eat your Pokemon's asshole and it tastes like strawberries? Where do you do your sidechain? I do it in my groups. I don't do a trigger track on MIDI. So like on my mids right here, I have my sidechains on the group routed to my kick and snare, and that's it. And then I would copy this sidechain and paste it over here on my sub, paste it on my synths. Did I do it over here on my synths? Yeah, just on the sub. Then I did it on my effects too, slightly on the vocals, and then on my returns. Yup. I didn't even do it on my reverb return, huh? That's something I missed right there, boy. Here we go. I got questions here. What was your major breakthrough for you when you were coming up as a producer? My breakthrough was Wookworm. Wookworm was my breakthrough song. So here's what's crazy about Wookworm. So that song, I put that song out because other labels, I was to have a bunch of releases lined up, and the labels that I had the songs signed to, they kept pushing them back. So I didn't have a release. I was trying to stay consistent. I think I forget what year it was, 2018. I think I set a goal for myself. I'm going to release one song a month because I was at a point to where my songs were really good. So I wanted to start staying really consistent. I had a branding idea down. I had an artist, because you can see all my artwork. All my artwork's super cohesive. It's really dope. Like, it's good artwork. So I had all that ready to go. So I made a goal. I'm going to be consistent every month. And labels pushed my tracks back. So I was like, fuck, man, I got to put something out this month. So I put Wookworm out. I self-released it. I had no money into it other than buying the artwork, paying my artist for the artwork. I didn't have any repost chains. I didn't send it out for support. I think I had like an email chain that I sent it out to a few DJs. That's it. I didn't get any big DJ dropping it live. It literally, song blew up because it blew up. Literally, I had nothing to do with it. I just made the song, put it out. It did its fucking thing. You know, it just did its thing. Like I did put no money into repost or no money into advertising or anything like that, dude. The only thing I spent money on was the artwork. I self-released it. All my biggest songs have been self-releases, dude. You don't need, you know, labels are dope. Labels are super sick. But, you know, take it from me, you don't need a label to make it. You know what I'm saying? If you can't make it without a label, you know, check yourself before you riggedy wreck yourself. You feel me? So Wookworm was that, and it was like the perfect storm because like I released Wookworm, and then like 2 weeks later I played Lost Lands, and then the week after that I played Imagine Festival. So it was like, and I had really dope slots at Lost Lands. Like I played like 2 a.m. on the M&G stage, and then the next weekend I was playing at Imagine, and I was playing right after Bass Nectar, R.I.P. But it was like, if people, I think like it was Bass Nectar, and the only other person playing was Zoo. And if people wanted to get to Zoo, they had to walk past my stage. And that's a lot of bass heads leaving that stage, and they hear my music like, yo, what the fuck is this shit? So they start flocking in. So it was like a perfect storm. But yeah, Wookworm started all that, man. I think that was my big breakthrough. At what point did you decide to whip out the PBRs? 9 p.m. Yeah, actually, I think that was about the time. Got any tips with trash that usually sound good? Seems like the main thing that shapes your mid basses. Just starts. You can mess with the pre and the drive on like different presets. The multi band is really dope on trash. Just whatever sounds good, dude. Don't ever think it. If it sounds good, keep moving. If it sounds good, don't. If it sounds really good, don't waste time going through other presets or different distortions and saturations. If it sounds good, keep going. Add more. When sidechaining, kick, and sub 808, how do you avoid the click sound? I guess just messing with the release and the attack. A lot of that click, I feel like is because your attack's too low. And so you might be getting like a little bit of a click. So just messing with the clack. How did you get connected with the team Wakan? They actually, so it just happened, bro. Like, I have people ask me all the time, yo, you got an email for Wakan? Like, how can I get stuff on Wakan? It's like, you can't, dude. They got to come to you. So all I did was I did me. I wasn't seeking. I loved Wakan and I wanted to be on that label, but I wasn't seeking out to be on the label. I was just doing my thing, and they just so happened to fuck with it. So just do you, bro. And then, if you do dope shit and you're not a dick, then, good things will happen. Just work hard, bro. Just work. It's like, what else you gonna do? Just keep working, bro. I initially found your music searching for wonky mixes on SoundCloud. Well, that works. Your emo band with Dre. Yeah, it's hurricane season. We're actually dropping that, I think, in a month. We're dropping the album. Do you need a manager but not a label? Yeah, I think so. My manager was a game changer for me, honestly. I mean, both of them. I've had two different ones at this point. The first one I had, he helped me out a bunch, and the one I have currently, it changed my life. So yeah, having a good manager will definitely help you out. At what point were you able to live off this project financially? Last year. But the thing is like, I was DJing nightclubs. For like years. I DJ'd at a gay bar. I had a residency there in Jackson for like 3 years, just doing like top 40 music and like house music. And then I had a residency at a casino on the Mississippi Gulf Coast for like 6-7 months. And and then I was touring with bands also. So I wasn't living financially off of Tvboo yet, but I was living financially off of music. And also I was working stagehand. I was an audio tech. So even if you're not making, you can find ways to make money inside the music industry and not be a touring act. You know what I mean? Like getting a residency gig at your local nightclub, or working the events, like, do it, like even just being a stagehand or a promoter, or anything. It don't fucking matter. Like there's other ways that you can stay financially stable. Doing lessons, doing lessons for kids, like going to like local schools and seeing if they want to do like some after school program or something like that. And you can give like if you play an instrument, do like guitar lessons or like drum lessons or production lessons to little kids. Like, little kids are super hyped on this stuff right now. Like every little kid has a computer at this point. Like, why not make music while you have it? At one point when you're left, and why? What do you mean, and why? Oh, and why? Okay, so why was I able to be off this project financially? It's because I started touring. Simple as that. Yep. Wait, Kevin David attack. What'd he say? I know I said I wasn't gonna do this damn answer, but I did it anyway. Cool, man. If that's all y'all got, dude. That's all y'all got for me, dude. And that's gonna come to an end. Any other production questions? Any questions about the industry? Anything like that? While I'm still here, you plan on bringing back the drumming on stage? Yeah, I used to do live drumming in my DJ sets, and I don't plan on doing that anytime soon. Definitely plan on doing some type of live thing in the future, but not anytime soon. But yeah, I was doing live stuff for a while. I don't think my music teacher would be keen on letting a 16-year-old have an after-school program as much as I would love to teach Ableton. Why? What does your music teacher have to know? What's your master chain? So, like I said, I mastered this track on my old computer, so I lost a lot of the plugins that I illegally downloaded. So right now, all I have right now on my master chain, I added this before the lesson. I have this transient shaper, and in Ableton 10 has the transient shaper in the drum bus, so I don't even use this plugin anymore. And then I have just some multiband compression, saturator, utility, and glue compressor, just to kind of beef it all up. When you're recording your vocals yourself, do you have any soundproofing for recording, or do you do any noise reduction? My room's kind of treated. Yeah, my room's pretty treated, and if it's not, I'll just throw a gate on there and take all the little noise out there. Let's see. How much music do you record? Just vocals or drums too? I record a lot of vocals. I record guitar. I'll record me playing the piano. My school is bunk as fuck, dude. I went to Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi, where it's like we are literally the dumbest and poorest school in the country, so I don't want to hear that bullshit. Can you show us how you make Sense in Operator really quick? I don't make Sense in Operator. I make all my stuff, and here's the thing. All my synths usually come from post-processing, so it doesn't matter what you use. I usually just use sine waves and go from there. But, yeah, I think y'all are starting to ask questions I've already answered, so I think I'm going to end this at this point. Well, fuck, man. I really appreciate everyone coming, and I hope y'all learn some stuff. Shout out to Fire for having me, dude. Yeah, dude, I hope that y'all bring me back. I'm going to do some more stuff and get y'all learning some other shit. I guess I'll plug my stuff right now. Cult Classics Volume 2, out now on Wakan. Talks with Tvboo podcast, out every Thursday. Episode came today. And I have a single coming out in a few weeks that everyone's been asking for. So, hope y'all like that. Appreciate it, everybody. Peace.